Okay, good evening. Thank you to Yaakov that organizing these great lectures here in Brooklyn. Baruch Hashem, thanks to him we can watch these lectures all over in many different countries. And thanks to you that you're coming to listen to these lectures. Basically we have the lectures and we mezake other people. And many people knows that everything that we do right, Hashem pays us for the mitzvah that we do. We get rewarded for everything, in this world, in the next life, of course, as the Torah promised. But a person is not 100% educated to know how far is the reward can go. Some rewards is clear, it's obvious that you get, but some rewards you don't even imagine how far it can go. It's like a snowball. It can constantly grow and grow and grow. Even if you finish with the mitzvah 20 years ago, you continue to benefit from it every second. It's only growing and you did nothing. It's like putting one seed in the ground and go home. And once in a while you put some water or the rain, you come after 20 minutes, you see a huge orange tree, you say, what's this? So this is your reward. What did I do? What did I do? I put one little seed in the ground and cover it with my leg. That's my reward? Yes. And the next year again, and the next year again, forever and ever. Hashem showed us that the idea that you do something very small and it can grow to such a huge reward in this world, then it's needless to say that this is how it works in the next life. If you save one soul, it's like a tree. It brings you more and more benefits forever and ever. Him, his children, his grandchildren. You never stop collecting on this one soul. Same thing if you're in yeshiva. You get up in the morning always on time. Let's say they say 7 o'clock shachrit. You're always there 10 to 7 ready with your talit and tefillin. You start 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, 5 years, every day. Everybody else around you is influenced from your actions. If a person is lazy, it's hard for him to get up in the morning. The more he's around you, the more you inspire him. And thanks to you, he's also starting to become like this. And now thanks to him, somebody else gets inspired. And then a year later, there's hundreds of people. One gets inspired from the other. It all connects to you because you're the first one. Same thing in donations, in auctions. When they make auctions for yeshiva, for synagogue, for CDs, for anything you can think of. The one who jump and scream the first, a high amount, inspire everybody to follow him, right? If he wouldn't scream 1,000, everybody would say to Pa'amayim Chai, 36, 18. It all depends how it starts. Because the people don't know what to expect. They come, there's a charity collection, and they come and say, we want to collect money to build this yeshiva, or to sponsor the yeshiva, whatever the cause may be. First one who jump and scream $18, everybody else would say 18, 30, 50. If he screams 1,000, right away everyone is embarrassed. What am I going to say, 15? After this guy scream 1,000, so everybody say 300, 500, it's all thanks to him. He gets a share in every one of their donations. That's how it works. So a person has to be extremely careful. Every little thing we do, how long it can travel and can chas v'shalom bring us bad or it can bring us good, depend what we do. You know, we chose this topic to be, don't worry, Hashem love you. But really I don't like the name so much. Because it's like misleading. What does it mean, don't worry, Hashem love you? Is it true to say that Hashem love everyone? Is it true to say it? We find in the Torah that there are few places that Hashem said that He hates people. It says it clearly. You cannot argue with what the Torah says. Hashem hate the nation of Amalek. You heard about them? Amalek, who are Amalek today in the world? We don't know. We believe that they are the Germans and some Europeans around them. We believe. We don't know 100%. Because there used to be a king, his name was Sancheriv, and he mixed all the nations. Once he mixed all the nations, all the Gentiles got mixed, one with the other. So every goy that you see today, you cannot tell what's his root. What is he? Emori, Girgashi, Prizi, Knaani? What is he? You don't know. All these nations in the Torah, all the names in the Torah that are mentioned in the Torah, this is ancient nations from 2,000 or 3,000 years ago. Today, they have modern names. Modern names. Germany, France, Russia. But there used to be different names. And every goy, even an Arab, even if you take an Arab, which we know that the Arabs are the descendants of Ishmael, not every Arab we can swear that is Ishmaeli. You don't know. It can be descendants of Esav that went to live in Saudi Arabia 300 years ago, and that's his grandchildren. They already behave and act like Arabs. They're really Esav. They're not Ishmael. There's no way to know. You can have an American guy with American accent, 100% blonde, blue eyes, and he can be Ishmael. Why? 500 years ago, some Ishmaelim came to this place, and this is their grandson. There's no way to know. There's no way to know. But the point is like this. The Torah said there are some people Hashem love, and some people Hashem do not love. And the Torah and the Talmud clarify to us who Hashem loves, who Hashem doesn't love. For instance, let's give you examples. Some people, just because of their race, automatically don't have that much credit. It's enough that you're born to the nation of Amalek, automatically you are in a nation that the Torah declared that Hashem doesn't like you. He doesn't like you. Jews, however, it's exactly the opposite. It's enough that your mother is Jewish and you're born to the Jewish nation, automatically you have a special bonus. But is it true to say that just because your mother is Jewish or just because your mother is Amalek, that automatically you loved and automatically you hated? The answer is no. Even though the only one who can rate people, the only one who can say what person is more important than the other is the creator of all mankind. If, chas v'shalom, let's describe, hypothetically speaking, a scenario that there was no creator to the world, even though it's foolish even to think about it. But let's just put it aside for a minute. Let's think there was like, the world is tohu vavohu. No creator, nobody knows what's going on, whatever. Then every person who come and say this race is better than the other is a criminal. Who put you here to rate people, right? However, if the creator of all mankind comes and say this race is better than the other, this nation is better than the other, whether you like it or not, you will have to agree that he is entitled to decide whatever he wants, right? The same thing, a Toyota company, they have different cars, right? When you go to rent a car, some Toyotas cost $30 a day, some cost $300 a day. Why? Why? Because this one is a much better car. It costs 3 times more. This is 90,000, this is 30,000. So Toyota rate the car based on the quality, right? Does anybody complain to them, why this car is better than the other? It's not fair. It's racism. You're prejudiced. It's not fair. No. I made it. You tell me what to decide. The Torah, which the Jews in a way are lucky that the Christians and the Muslims admit that the Torah was given to us by God. If they wouldn't admit, it would make the situation a lot more complicated. But since they admit, we can use it to our benefits. Why? Because in the Torah it says that Hashem loved the Jews more than all the other nations. But at the same time, the Torah says that there are some conditions applied. It's subject to. Not automatically, if your mother is Hannah or Miriam, automatically you are loved. No. Because some Jews can lose the pity and the love that Hashem has for us. Naturally, they can lose it. So what is it like? Let's try to understand what's going on here. Father loves his children. Every father, he has 10 children, he loves them all. It's very difficult to ask a father which one of your kids you love more. You know, it's a hard question. Almost nobody can answer this question. But everybody has to agree that parents prefer some kids more than the others. God forbid, if a goy would put a gun to their hand and they tell them you have 10 children, one of them we have to take. We want to kill him. We want to kidnap him. Chas v'shalom, he will have to write a name. Which name he would write? the one who makes more problems than the other, the one who takes drugs, the one who robs banks, the one who he gets arrested every week. He gives him a lot of headache. He disrespects him. He disrespects the mother. He does all kinds of things. If God forbid I have to give up one, I will give up this one. Why should I give up the righteous one? Right? It's common sense. Even though it's a very hard decision, don't get me wrong. Nobody wants to be in this test, this situation. I'm just describing in a Holocaust, that's what it used to be. What do you think? They come, they want to take one now. It's not, they didn't ask you which one, they just take one. But sometimes the person has to make a decision. It's him or him, chas v'shalom. You know, the chief rabbi, the former chief rabbi of Israel, Rabbi Lau, I don't know if you read his book. It's a very inspiring book, historic, because it's a Holocaust survivor. How he got saved. It was him and his brother. His mother was wearing a long coat, and she put both of them under the coat, tried to hide them as they moved in through a door. And she was hoping that the Nazi wouldn't pay attention. Like she's going like this. One of them went through, and then the second one got caught, and he took him and killed him. So the point is, just imagine, she went like this. What happened if she went like this? Then the second one would get saved. Even this was supervised by Hashem. Who will go first? Because that second, he didn't pay attention. He was looking around. She sneaked one in. If she would go from the other side, the other one would go in. So he got saved. The chief rabbi of Israel got saved like this. Half a second of no attention to this monster Nazi, and that's how he got saved. And he writes the rest of his story. From there until he became a very important person in Israel. I had the merit that he was my rabbi in my wedding. But at that time I did not to appreciate who was marrying me. Ignorance, I always say, it's very, very painful. You can stand next to the most important person in the world. If you don't know who he is, you don't recognize him. I once say, you know, Rav Saadia Gaon 1,000 years ago, in the days that there was no internet, no pictures, no telephone, no communication, so nobody knew how the rabbis look, except their own student in their own town, right? If a rabbi would go from one town on a boat to another town on the other side of the land, nobody would know who he is. They see a person with a beard or a hat or whatever he has, everybody looks like that. Doesn't mean everyone who has a beard is an important person, right? So he comes to a motel on the way. They used to sleep in motels. At night you cannot travel. So he comes to the owner of the motel and he says, I'm looking for a bed to sleep. How much? You have a room for me? He said, I'm sorry, we booked. There's no room. So he said, I don't care anywhere. Put me anywhere you want. Just find me a place to sleep, even on the floor. You know, it's cold outside. What am I going to do all night in a forest? The guy said, I'm very sorry, we packed. That's it. There's nothing. Where will I put you? He said, put me in a hallway. So he said, okay, you know, an older person like you want to be on a hallway? It's on your responsibility. Go sleep in the hallway. In the morning, when people started to get up to go to pray in the morning, they walk on the hallway, and what do they see? They see an old man getting up there in the hallway, and one of them recognized him. That is one of the most important rabbis in the world. So he said, Rav Saadia Gaon, you were sleeping here on the floor in a motel in the middle of the night? I don't have to tell you what they wanted to do to the owner of the hotel. The poor guy didn't know who he is, trying to help him out. But they started to scream, a whole demonstration in the hotel, what a rasha this guy is that he makes this rabbi sleeps on the floor. So he started to apologize. I didn't know, Rabbi, forgive me. He's crying. Wow, how am I going to make tshuva for this? So the rabbi told him, really, you're not guilty. You didn't know who I am. You gave me, after all, a place to sleep. Cannot complain to you. But from you, I learned something very important about life. You can only give the proper respect to someone after you know fully who he is. If you don't know him, you cannot give him the proper respect. You see, when you didn't know who I am, you gave me a normal respect, like every other person. You try to help me out, but, you know, normal. Nothing out of the ordinary. When you found out who I am, not that I'm something, but you found out who I am, look how scared you got. Now I just realize that I cannot give Hashem the proper respect that I owe Him because I still didn't finish to learn who He is. Since I don't know exactly who is Hashem, I have so much to learn to know who is God, what is going on here. The more I learn about Him, the more I get scared. He cares about me, He loves me, He gets upset at me, He gets disappointed from me. Do you know what it means? That I disappoint Hashem every hour of my life? If a person is honest, how can he live? How can he live another hour knowing that the last previous hours I just disappointed the creator of this whole universe? Me, the little one. The little puppet who walk in the street here in Brooklyn. That I said something or I looked at something I'm not supposed to look and my Father in heaven, God, sad for me, disappointed for me. Now all these traits of Hashem, all the spiritual traits like sadness, happiness, disappointment, satisfaction, all these spiritual things that a person feels, love, hate, all these things, Hashem made us like Him. Ma'u rachum afata rachum. Ma'u chanun afata chanun. The same thing is merciful, you should be like this. Same thing, right? But it's still not the same. We cannot be in the same level like Hashem in a spiritual way. We are similar somewhat to the way Hashem is, but we don't have an understanding what does it mean when Hashem angry. Is His anger is like our anger? Of course not. Why? Because our anger comes because of our defects. We are not perfect, so our anger comes because we are not perfect. A perfect person never gets angry even 1 second in his life. Never. Because it's one of the most stupid things to be angry. One of the most stupid things. What is it like? A dog that you hit with a stick, and the dog is angry at the stick. The dog is trying to bite the stick, you throw the sticks, the dog runs after the stick, he's barking at the stick, he's angry, he's ready to kill the stick. What do you have to do with this? It's very foolish, everyone is laughing, what a foolish dog. Well, we behave like this every second of our life. Because to be angry at another person means I have no emunah in Hashem, that He runs the show. Hashem just gave me a test. Imagine the teacher invite you to a test. So if you pass the test, you'll be a doctor. You make a lot of money. But this is the test. So as soon as he gets the test, he gets angry at the teacher. Hey, get out of here. He gets crazy. So the teacher says, well, what's the problem? Why are you getting me angry? You're giving me this test. You fool, I'm giving you this test because I want to make you a doctor. Well, why are you getting angry? So this is like we are. If somebody comes and did something to us, we get angry. But if we would see that Hashem took him from here and put him in front of me to give me a hard time today, I wouldn't get angry at him, right? Because I knew Hashem is testing me. I would behave very nice. Why don't I behave nice? Because I don't have emunah. That's the root of all the problems. Emunah. So why don't I like this topic? Because it's really incorrect. Don't worry, Hashem loves you. Hashem loves you, it's true. Just the fact He created you. We saw that when the Egyptians were drowning, the Malachei Hasharet wanted to make a shira l'Hakadosh Baruch Hu. They want to make a party, the angels. Finally, these wicked Egyptians, the army of Pharaoh are drowning, and finally, it's salvation to the children of God. So why not to make a song? Beautiful song, no? So Hashem comes and says, Ma'asei Yadai tovim bayam v'atem omrim shira. My creation is drowning and you are happy, which means even when the enemies of God and the enemies of His children are destroyed, He's not happy. Why are you happy, He says? Why are you getting happy? What's the problem, Hashem? I cannot be happy. David HaMelech writes in Tehillim, Mesanecha Hashem esna. Hashem, those who disrespect you and don't love you, I hate. But in another place, Rabbi Meir Baal HaNes used to curse the wicked people. His wife, her name was Bruria. She was a very big Talmid Chacham, his wife. She had a tefillin. You ever saw a woman tefillin, walking in the street with tefillin? Maybe obviously it was under her cover, so nobody could see it. And obviously she was very modest, so nobody could see it really. Because otherwise it's Yohara. If a woman will walk with tefillin in the street, right away they'll give her a title, right? The rabbi. of the reform movement. That's what's going to be. Right? But she had it, and she was learning, and she was arguing with the chief rabbis in the world 2,000 years ago. If we take all the rabbis in the world today combined, there won't be one of them in his level. One of them. They can, and she was greater than them. And when she said this is the right way, they surrendered to her. Say, listen to her, she knows the best. That's how smart she was. So she told him, why you curse the wicked people? You shouldn't curse them. You should pray that they make repentance. That's a higher level. It's one level to hate them because they hate God, because they disrespect God. So by hating them, you show God you love him, right? If somebody hates your father, automatically you hate him. If not, you're not normal. That's the way it is, right? If a person is an enemy of your father, you go and sit and drink beer with him in a wedding? You know, even if you technically like that person for the respect of your father, you wouldn't go and sit with him, especially not in public. So, by somebody that disrespects Hashem, doesn't observe the Sabbath, doesn't pray, doesn't speak Lashon Hara all day, automatically, how can I be connected with a guy like this that every second of his life rebel against Hashem? But there's a higher level than this. I don't hate him. I hate his actions. I still love him, no problem. I hate his actions. Which means I have an obligation to do everything I can to change his actions. But to hate him, how can I hate my brother? You can hate your brother if your brother is not a perfect person. You hate him because of that? Try to help him out, no? You try to work things with him. You try to improve him. Why? Because he's your brother. If he's not your brother, most likely you won't care so much. So the idea is like this. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, first of all, love everyone. Everybody who he made, he loves. But there are levels of love. We don't have an understanding. What does it mean, God love? It's different than the way we understand. There's difference of love. Obviously, you can see in the Torah that he say who he loves more. But even among us, that he loves us the most from all the nation, as the Torah say, I chose you from all the nation to be mine. Don't be like the goyim. Don't imitate them. Don't eat their food. Don't marry them, etc., etc., etc. Even among us, there are levels of people. For instance, he loves the Kohen more than the Levi. He loves the Levi more than the Israelite. He loves the man more than the woman. He loves a legitimate boy more than a mamzer. But at the same time, if a mamzer becomes a Talmid Chacham, which means he learns a lot of Torah with lots of efforts, he jumps to the top of the pyramid. Even though you are illegitimate boy and your mother made a huge sin, the worst in Judaism for a married woman, and you cannot marry any normal Jew, you have to marry someone like you, and basically you are supposed to be in the lowest of the lowest level, just because you put efforts and you became a Talmid Chacham, you would jump to the top of the pyramid. So technically, we would have to respect a mamzer more than we respect Kohen that is ignorant. If we have a Kohen that does not learn Torah, even though he's a decent person, he's polite, you know, he may even give tzedakah, he's keeping Shabbos, we're not talking a wicked Kohen, just ignorant. He doesn't know halachot, he doesn't come to learn, he doesn't know Parashat HaShavua. Ask him who was the father of Avraham Avinu, he doesn't know. He's busy in his businesses. And we have a mamzer, everybody knows a mamzer, but he knows everything, he learns all the time. We have to give him more respect. In Shabbat, we would have to give him the first aliyah, even if the Kohen is present at the shul. If we make zimun in a table when we eat, when we make Birkat Hamazon, we would have to give the wine to the mamzer. And many, many other laws of respect would come, he would come before the Kohen. So you may ask me, so why don't we do it today? For a few reasons. First, we don't want to embarrass the Kohen. By having a Kohen in a shul and not giving him aliyah and call him mamzer and say, you get an aliyah, everybody would say, look at this Kohen. He can't even get an aliyah in a shul. The mamzer get an aliyah and he doesn't get an aliyah. So we don't want to embarrass him. We don't want to embarrass him. But technically, that was the right thing to do. So you see that the love of Hashem is changing according to our action. Not just because you have beautiful eyes, Hashem loves you. It doesn't work that way. Not just because your mother is Miriam, automatically Hashem loves you. Yes, you have a better start, but you can ruin the whole thing. The Torah says that there are some people that HaKadosh Baruch Hu love very much. For instance, they give an example, the Chachamim. One is a poor person who finds a lost object, is valuable, a wallet. In our days, it can be an electrical device that costs a few $100s. It's very poor. For him, wow, it's like finding a treasure, because every dollar for him it's food for his kids. It's very poor. And he runs and searches for the owner of the Avedah to return it. Why they don't say a person who finds a lost object and returns it? They don't say that. They said a person that is poor and he finds a lost object. Why? Because his test is 100 times greater. A millionaire that finds a $100 wallet in the street, no, very nice, you return the $100. Very nice. But a person that $100 for him is 2 days of work, from morning to night, he works very hard for it, that's a big test. Wow. You know, look what I just found. So it's a very big thing. Also, a single boy, he doesn't have a girl that watch himself not to make sins. 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, the more his reward obviously is growing constantly, but the more Hashem loves him. Why? So you see that Hashem loves us based on our efforts, based on our potential, not only our achievement. You can have great achievements, you still did not fulfill 50% of your potential. Your friend that achieved much less than you, but he achieved 80% of his potential, Hashem loves you a little more than you. Why? He achieved more. So what's the most important thing for us? למצוא חן בעיני Hashem, to find that Hashem would like us more and more. למצוא חן בעיני Hashem. Noach מצא חן בעיני Hashem, it says. Noach, Hashem liked him. And others. Chen, it's beautiful in the eyes of Hashem what you do. How is it? To put efforts. A lot of efforts. Also, נקי כפיים ובר לבב. מי יעלה בהר Hashem, we said, right? Who will have the merit to climb in a mountain of God? Which means the time when Mashiach comes, not everyone will survive. Not everyone. Some Gentiles will survive if they're righteous. It's called Chasidei Umot HaOlam. Gentiles who kept the 7 laws, and Gentiles who helped the Jews, saved Jews in the Holocaust, in a pogrom, or they spoke for the Jews, or they protected the Jews in any way, automatically they saved themselves. But Jews that kept the mitzvot and they were righteous, they also survive. Those who kept some and some they didn't keep, they will struggle a lot until they get saved. There will be a period of time that the test will be tremendous. But after they survive, Hu mi ya'aleh be'ar Hashem, someone that his hand is clean from stealing. Stealing is not only breaking into somebody's car and steal what you found there, or go into someone's pants and steal his wallet. That's stealing, of course. Stealing can come in many ways that a person does not dream about. Let me give you an example. Stealing can be that you use your friend's membership to enter the gym. Once in a while you want to go to the gym. They don't have a picture, there's names there. You ask your friend, give me your thing. I'm going to go and use the gym. And you don't pay. If you would go, you have to pay, I don't know, $10 to enter. Since you took his card, you're not paying. Or you take your Medicaid card of your friend and buy drugs for him on his name. Drugs that you can buy in a pharmacy on a Medicaid. Or go to the doctors with his name. Or go to the doctors and give them a false name. Now they send the bill to a different address. All these tricks. This is all fraud. This is all fall in a category of stealing. Ona'ah. It's ona'ah. Cheating, lying, stealing, it's all connected. So a person that lives his life like this, or he cheats in the applications, he gets all kinds of money from the government he's not entitled to. If he's entitled to it, no problem. You're allowed to receive money. That's the law of the state. But if you start lying and cheating and doing all these things, it's stealing. And nowhere in the Torah it says that you're allowed to steal from a goy. We're not allowed to steal from a goyim. You should know that after the Holocaust, there were survivors. The Americans and the Russians liberate the camps. There was Jews that survived. Some that stayed there in Poland the Polish people came and killed them with axes. They chipped their heads open to two with axes. That's how cruel they were, the Polish. So they asked them, why? After all they went through, after so much they suffered, you took their homes away, you took their businesses away, you saw what the Germans did to them in Auschwitz. Some of them survived after they lost all their kids, wife, relatives. You didn't have mercy on them, you came to finish the job. So what was their answer? We are so upset at them for how they used to cheat us in the business, because they used to own all the wealth. Because wherever the Jews are, they're always going to be the wealthiest. It's a blessing in the Torah. The Torah says, "Va'ita sham lemashal u'leshnina." Rashi writes, everybody will talk about you. You always be the headlines. The Jews must be on top of all the nations. It must be, because it says in the Torah, "Ki atem ha'me'at mikol ha'amim, bachem bachar Hashem." You are special to me. Even though you are very little, you're always going to be on top of everyone. In knowledge, in intelligence, in brilliance, in everything you can think of, in money, in success. Amazing. Look at, they're running in the internet an email about what Israel achieved in 60 years. They compare it to other nations like China, like America, nations with hundreds of millions of people or even billions of people. They do not even reach 1% of the Israeli production in any industry. In high-tech, in computers, in business, in medicine. Can't believe it. I once said, the statistic in this country is, you have 98% Goyim, 2% Jews. The Jews contributed 50% of the doctors in the United States, and 98% of the Goyim also contributed 50% of the doctors. You understand what we're talking about? The 2% and the 98% gave the same amount of doctors to this country. You understand? Also, billionaires. Billionaires. Percentage by the Goyim, how many billionaires for every 1,000 Goyim? Very small. By the Jews, big numbers. Even though there's a lot of poor Jews also, don't get me wrong. But percentage-wise, Hashem show you that this nation is more blessed than the others. Not always is a blessing to be rich. Some billionaires will regret that Hashem gave them billions. Most of them. Because what do they do with that? What do they do with that? Go and check what they do with the money. How many donations they ever give. And if finally gives a donation, they will only give a donation if their name will be in a building. So they're not really doing it for the cause. They're doing it for their honor, for the glory, for their fame. They're not doing it. If some of them, if the church would offer them to call the church after their name, they'll also give to the church. They'll give the reform. They'll make the school on their name. They'll give anyone. They'll donate to the hospitals, knowing that the hospitals saving many anti-Semites, many Jew haters, even terrorists. They take care of everyone, the hospitals. They don't care. As long as my name will be on a building. In Muncie, you have a yeshiva, it's called Bet David. Famous yeshiva. So when they built their building, they needed, obviously, a huge building like this. It's a few $1 million. I'm talking many years ago, so maybe it was cheaper. But they were looking for a lot of money to pay for the building. And one Jew who was married to a non-Jewish woman offered the full amount of money in one shot. Full amount. You know how many months of work it will save them from going from one door to another, knocking on door, phone calls, dinners, committees, advertisements, selling raffles. Save them all the headache. Good, no? In 1 second, one check. All he wanted is to put his name on a building. Donation, contribution of Ploni ben Ploni. Finished. They came to Rav Yaakov Kaminetsky, who was Echad Migdolei Ador at that time. They asked him, Kvod Harav, this is the offer, what should we do? He said, no, you cannot write his name on a building because it's big Chilul Hashem for the Torah. To write the name of a Rasha, a wicked person that married to a Goya, and make him clean his conscience by donating to the building and put his name on it. No. You tell them, we cannot accept it from you, we cannot write your name on a building, And that's it. So now the guy say, okay, you know what? He got insulted. So he say, okay, you know what? Okay, don't put my name on a building. But I'll still give you the money. Very nice, no? So now it's already a little bit more l'shem shamayim. So they came back to the rabbi. So okay, he agreed not to put his name on it. So the rabbi told them, okay, now it's your free choice. But if I would be you, I would still not take the money from him. The money has to be pure, kosher for such a place of Torah. You have to have strong emunah in Hashem. I have no doubt that if you won't take the money from him, guarantee you'll get the money one way or the other in a kosher way. Just trust God. It's all a test. And I said, whatever you say, Rabbi. They told him, thank you very much, we appreciate it, we cannot accept it from you. And they got the money. And they have a great yeshiva today, many years.
Did they say no?
They got it. They collected the money in the end, and they got it, and Baruch Hashem, everything is fine.
But they did, and they told him why they don't get it from him?
Yes, of course they told him.
So isn't that Chilul Hashem?
No, it's not Chilul Hashem to tell the wicked people that they're wicked. They have to know that they're wicked. You just have to do it in a polite way, in a nice way. I just was in Englewood this Shabbat, in Shabbaton, and there are people there who drives on Shabbat. I smashed them to pieces, and they hug me and kiss me. I promise you. Hug me and kiss me, and one of them told me, I'm going to make you a lecture in my house in Great Neck. You have to know how to do it. If the person is convinced that you're doing it because you love him and because you care about him, believe me, he would appreciate it. And it doesn't matter. Sometimes they will make a show that they are offended, but inside they know that you care about them. And you have to always make sure you do it quietly, without not to embarrass them in front of everyone. Plus, you have to tell them in advance. You start with compliments. Whenever you want to tell a person criticism, first you have to start with compliments. You're such a good person. I see that you have a great heart. I know, I heard many good things about you. I know this, I know. So right away, he becomes your friend. Because when a person receives compliments from you, he begins to love you instantly. 5 seconds after, he's in love with you. Yeah, 100%. You know, I tell you, I used to know a guy that was very ugly. Very ugly. And he used to go to nightclubs to make scenes with the girls. He's looking for the girls to make scenes with them. Now, usually you would think an ugly guy like this, if he go 100 times, maybe once he'll get lucky to get a girl to make a scene, or will get not lucky. That's really the truth. But from his point of view, we'll get lucky to make a scene. Because such an ugly guy. But in reality, he was making more scenes, a lot more than all the handsome guys. So I once asked him, how a guy like you, in a nice way, in a joking way, how a guy like you is able to occupy every girl you see? So he said, the way to the woman's heart is through compliments. All you have to do is start with lots of compliments. Here is calling to tell me maybe something is different in a story. Compliments. Compliments. You like this, you like that. He gives her a flower. Right away. Compliments and gift. The person loves you right away. You got it? That's the right way. Attention. That's also, by the way, the way. Up. Shut up. So, this is not only to a woman's heart, to every person's heart. Few things makes good connection between people. One is compliments. Second, to give them things. You give them some. Here, you can have this. Here, this is for you. Here, look what I bought for you. Right away, it makes good connection. And also, to sit and eat with them together. Once you sit and eat with a person, you become connected to him. That's why the Torah said that a big Talmid Chacham, you cannot sit with everyone on the street and eat with them. You know, because automatically, he has connection with them in a negative way. Also with a goy. If you sit and eat with a goy, it can be a nice goy, it can be a righteous goy even. But you automatically become close with him. Tomorrow you marry your son to his daughter. That's the whole halacha of bishul goyim. Why are we not allowed to eat from what the goyim are cooking? We are not talking only wicked goyim. We are not talking only Mr. Lee and Mr. Muhammad in India that bow down to Buddha. No. We're talking a righteous goy. A righteous goy, he keeps the Sheva Mitzvot Bnei Noach, he loves Hashem, sometimes more than us. Right? He gives charity, he loves Jews, he loves Israel, he writes beautiful articles about Israel in the internet. Everything is fine. I cannot sit and eat with him. Hummus together in a restaurant. Why? Because we have automatically a spiritual connection. Spiritual connection, the next time it's again, the next time it's again, all of a sudden, become like family. That's what the Torah says. So the Torah says, here, cut it right here before it's too late. Why? Because Hashem doesn't want us, the Jews, to mix with any other nation. You see, if the Torah would say, I don't want you to mix with only this nation, or with only this nation, then we would know Hashem doesn't want us to mix with them because they're bad. But here Hashem made no difference. Everybody, everyone that is not the children of Yaakov Avinu, Yaakov Israel, automatically is excluded. I don't want them in my nation unless if they convert. They convert, they become kosher Jews. No problem whatsoever. No problem whatsoever. You know, there was a nice story. The Gaon Rabbi Yecheskel Landa, his name is, he used to be known as the Noda Yehuda, a big Rav. He heard a boy is crying outside of his window. Here's a boy, little boy, cries by his window. He comes out of his house, he sees a goy, Christian boy, sitting on a rock next to his house and crying. So he asked him, it was a rainy night, a little bit cold, so he asked him, why are you crying here, why? So he say, I'm from a family of bakers, and my mother died, he said, and my father got remarried to a very bad woman. She's very cruel, and she's torturing me every day. What did she do? Early in the morning we bake all the breads. She puts this cart full of breads. She covers it, and all day I have to go from one place to the other. I cannot go back home until I finish to sell all the breads, and I have to give her the money. So he said, okay, so why are you crying? He said, because today I lost the money. I sold all the breads. I don't know what happened. I checked now. I was on my way home. I see that I lost the money. It fell. Maybe somebody stole it. I don't know. And I'm afraid to go home. She'll kill me. I don't know what to do. I'm very desperate. So the rabbi told him, wait right here. Wait. He went inside. He asked him how much you lost. He said 20 dinars. He said, okay, no worry. He went and got 25 dinars. He doesn't know the boy. First time he saw him. He gives him 20 dinars for the breads. He said, give it to your stepmother. And this 5, you use it for yourself. Go buy yourself a hot meal. Relax. You'll be happy. The boy, all of a sudden, from crying, became the happiest person on earth. Thank you, I appreciate it. Took the money and gone. That's the story. 30 years later, somebody knocks on his door. 30 years later. He opens the door, he sees an older man, goy. Rabbi, yes. You probably don't remember me, but 30 years ago I was sitting outside here and crying. You see on this rock? And you saved my life that day. Gave me the money, you sent me. So the rabbi said, yeah, I think I remember. Yeah, well, what happened now? He said, I came to help you. I'm doing you a huge favor that I came here. He said, yeah, what? It was Chol HaMoed of Pesach when the goy came. He said, I'm in a committee of all the bakers. You know, I inherit my parents' bakery, and I'm one of the bakers, and all the bakers have a union. There was a meeting last night, and the priest of this whole entire city, he told all the bakers that on Motzei Pesach, the night that Pesach is over, all the Jews goes to the bakery to buy bread, because there's no time to bake bread at night in Motzei Pesach. All of you must put poison in each loaf of bread. That when all the Jews buy thousands of bread, all of them will die, then Motzei Pesach, we get rid of all of them. That's the rule, and he signed it. And now you have to remember that in those days, The church were the court. They were everything. They were in charge of the police and the court. Not like today, it's separate. Today you have the civil is separate and the religion is separate in the United States or in other countries. It used to be everything. They were the authority. So now, I heard that. And first thing came to my mind, how when I was a kid, who really saved me? I went to other goyim, I asked them for help, nobody cared. And you came and gave me the money. How can I let people like you die? So I come, I tell you the secret. Make sure you warn all your people. So the rabbi went and Chol HaMoed to the shul. Right away, they made noise in the whole town. Everybody came to the shul. And he told them, no one is allowed to buy any bread from the goyim. Be careful, Motzei Pesach, nobody will buy bread. Nobody will buy bread. They warned so many times, they're going to get penalty, punishments. Everybody knew. Tomorrow night, nobody is allowed to buy. They prepared thousands of breads. Not one Jew showed up. They can't believe what's going on here. We expected a flood of customers. Nobody came. Thousands of Jews got saved from this righteous person that went and had a mercy on a boy. You understand? That's called Shlach lach mechal pnei hamayim. Send your bread on the water, one day you'll find it. Whatever you do today, it's like putting a seeds in the ground. Everything we do, it's planting seeds in the ground. Remember, everything. Even though you don't see immediate results, the ground in your olam haba, in your account, is full of seeds. They're growing. You just don't see it yet. One day you'll eat from the fruit. Before we finish, and I'll give you some time for questions, you have to understand. If we're not going to put in efforts, we won't gain Hashem's love. Natural love, yes, to every person, yes. But the love that we really want, it's not only the love because my mother was Jewish or because my mother was righteous, no. The love that we want to gain is the love that Hashem say, you are worthy. You are my servant. You are my faithful servant. Who Hashem said in the Torah that is tzaddik? Yosef HaTzaddik. Yosef, Joseph. Abraham, Avraham, or Avi. Avraham is my lover. Moshe, Aish Moshe Anav, Moshe Avdi, Zichru Torat Moshe Avdi. Moshe is my servant. It's an honor to be the servant of the Master of the Universe. It's not a punishment, it's an honor. Right? Honor or not? If the President of the world will call you to be his assistant, and he gives you orders, do this for me, help me with here, help me with that, you'll be very honored. No, you wouldn't be embarrassed. If you be a servant of a shoemaker, you're not so proud of it, no? You're not running in the street and say, hey, I'm assistant of the shoemaker across the street. I help him to make shoes. You won't get that much credit for that, right? But if you run and say, I'm the assistant of the president, or the chief judge, or somebody important, oh, now people treat you like a king. Well, you're only a servant. What's the problem? Depend who you're serving. Depend who you're serving. Two Jews are very good friends. Very good friends. One of them, they made a story about him, and the king sentenced him to death penalty. No matter what he did, the lawyers, all the efforts that he made, he could not do anything. They're about to hang him. The guy puts the rope around his neck, and his best friends run and say to him, wait, you're about to kill an innocent person. He's not guilty. I am the one who killed that person, not him. My conscience do not let me let you kill an innocent person before it's too late. So take it away from him and kill me instead. So the guy said, hey, wait a minute, I only can do what the king told me to do. I don't know who you are. If you want, go and confess to the king. Say, yeah, but in the meantime, you're going to kill an innocent person. So the guy got confused. He said, okay, let's put an hold on that. Let's call the king and see what to do. So the king came after an hour. The king showed up. So now the hangman, he says, Your Majesty, I don't know what to do. Look, he's guilty, and he's claiming that he's the murderer. What should I do? So they're fighting. So now the other guy said, no, don't believe him. He's my friend. He's trying to save me. I'm guilty, not him. No, it's me. No, usually it's the other way around. It's him. They're arguing. They're arguing. So the king said, okay, both of you come to my courtroom in my palace, and we will redo the entire trial. All of a sudden, no evidence, this, another witness. They found that it wasn't him, and obviously it wasn't the new guy. They found the real murderer in the end. So the king told them, since you have such great love that you're willing to give your life for your friend, and he, that is innocent, was willing to die and he doesn't want you to die, that means you have real love between you. I'm begging you, please allow me to be in your group. There will be 3 instead of 2. I never found people like you. Will you allow me to be one of you? Like we're going to have our own gang together? So this is the mashal. What's the nimshal? HaKadosh Baruch Hu say to every Jew, "Ve'afta l'reacha kamocha." If you love your friend, I also love you. If you love your brothers, I love you also. Measure for measure. You respect your parents, I will respect you. You respect other people, you gain more respect from me. You help other people, I will help you. You save souls, you give them CDs, you invite them to the lecture, you make them religious, I will take care of your own children. You help the poor, you'll never be poor. You got the point? This is your insurance policy. Not Blue Cross, Blue Shield, whatever their name is, or AIG. Whatever their names are, I don't know. GIA, AIG, whatever their names are. Doesn't matter. Today they're here, tomorrow they're in a grave, as you can see. One day Europe is on top, tomorrow they're in a grave. Kochi ve'otzem yadi. What did we read yesterday in the parasha? What did the prophet says? Arur ha'gever asher yiftach b'nei adam, b'basar. Someone who trusts other people is cursed. Baruch ha'gever asher yiftach b'Hashem v'haya Hashem yiftacho. Bless he the one who trusts only in Hashem. Yes, Hashem has messenger. But if a person tells you, if you're not going to do this and this, I won't help you. I won't donate. I won't support. No problem, goodbye. Hashem has other messengers. He decides how much I get. Right now, you got lucky that it comes through you. You are the pipe. You want to be a fool and lose the merit? No problem. It's your loss, not mine. I'll get what I deserve with or without you. That's the right thinking. That's why a person should never compromise on the truth. Never. And even if you find yourself losing your home and you're on the street, you know, I did what Hashem told me. That's it. More than that I couldn't do. I'm clean. There are many people who compromise and they kept their stuff or they kept their job, but they lost their soul. They lost the eternity. You got it? Only work on Shabbat 1 hour. What is this? You want to leave Friday at 3 o'clock? It's very busy. We need you. But I have Shabbat. No, we're going to fire you. So you're thinking, what am I going to do? My wife get angry, this, that. Come 5 years later, you see his hearing. Smoke drugs on Shabbat afternoon. What happened to you, Moshe? Yeah, you became like a goy. 5 years ago, he compromised. He only stayed an extra hour in Shabbat. By the time he got home, it was half an hour Shabbat already. I know some people like this. They keep the rest of the Shabbat. But they come, why? For an extra hour. Because the boss is putting them under pressure. Putting them under pressure. You understand? So, shh. Speaking about the king and the court and the 2 Jews, there was one Jew that was sentenced also. He's in the middle of his trial, and the jury, they're about to reach a decision about him. And just when it's over, almost over, he looks that his case is finished. It's a lost case. His lawyer got up. In a brilliant move, he said to the jury, in 10 minutes, you're all going to see that the person who you claim that my client murdered will show up in the door right here. 10 minutes. Look at your watch and count 10 minutes. You're going to see how he enters the courtroom. Noise in a courtroom. What is this? How can it be? It was a funeral already. It was a burial. In 10 minutes he will walk through the door and you see that all of you are about to kill an innocent person. So after 10 minutes, what do you think? What happened? Huh? He didn't show up. He didn't show up. So the judge said, hey, you wasted 10 minutes of our time. He said, no, Your Honor. I only wanted to show you and everybody that they have a doubt. If they didn't have a doubt, they tell baloney, tell stories to your friends. They wouldn't sit and wait 10 minutes. By sitting and waiting 10 minutes, it's a proof that they have a serious doubt if he's dead or not. How can you kill an innocent person? You don't even know if the victim was murdered or not. You want to send him to electric chair? What do you think was the end of this trial? They dismissed him or they killed him in the end?
They killed him. They killed him.
Why they killed him?
Because there was a woman.
Very good.
She said that when everybody was looking at
Listen.
I was looking at you.
Very good.
And the defendant
I'll repeat.
never looked at the door.
One second.
Which proves that he had no doubt that the person is dead.
One second. Yeah. So he's right. That's what happens. She said the entire 10 minutes that everybody looked at the door, I looked at the murderer. And he did not look at the door even one time. You know why? Because he knew he won't show up. Because he killed him. How can he show up? You understand? So that's the point here. The point here that, you know what it is, sometimes you can fool the whole world, but you cannot fool yourself. You know who you are. You can put a beautiful show, but Hashem see if you're kosher or not. Over here, many people get respect that they don't deserve. They will pay for that respect. They will pay for it. They will pay for that they let them sit in a shul on a stage or in the VIP section. They will pay for that people bow down for that. They will pay for all this. Why? Because they don't deserve it. It was their job to scream, don't give me this honor, I don't deserve it. I'm not who you think I am. But they're very comfortable with that. You know, the Gemara said that one rabbi was teaching his student, and they say, let's take a walk, refresh. So they went out of the yeshiva and they started to walk about 100 yards out of the yeshiva. They see one of the guys come, one guy from the town, he comes from out of town with his bags, he walked towards them. So when he saw that the chief rabbi and all the students came to welcome him, so he said to the rabbi, you didn't have to bother leaving the yeshiva and coming out just for me. So the rabbi says to him, no, we didn't come for you. We're just refreshing. We're just going to breathe some air. So the Gemara asked, what was the problem of this rabbi? He should have told him, no, that's okay. Anyway, they didn't come for him. But let him feel good. What's the problem? He thinks that you gave him respect. I didn't lie. You made a mistake. You thought that we came to give you respect. What do I care? I pretend. I play dumb and I walk. But he couldn't live with that lie. It's a lie in the heart. What do we say every day in the prayer? לעולם יהיה אדם ירא שמיים בסתר כבגלוי. A person has to be fearful from Hashem even in hidden places, not only in public. הוא דובר אמת בלבבו. And speaking the truth in his heart. Needless to say in his lips. In his heart. To be honest, not only in your lips, in your heart. That's a harder level. Sometimes a person is full of tricks, full of ideas. So when a person made a mistake, it's deceiving him. He's taking advantage here and there, in the heart. But to come and make a lie and to cheat, it's not that bad. You know, he has like a red line. The Torah says you make sure your heart is also honest, not only what you say. Inside, which means right here, yes, he could have made a mistake, think I came to give him respect. And nobody would know. Or a person say, hey, why didn't you come to my wedding? He asks you questions, right? So then somebody says, no, he probably had a lecture that night. You didn't say anything, you didn't lie. So, oh, okay, I understand. You didn't say anything. and you let it go. So the guy think, oh, you have a reason why you didn't come, right? But the problem is that it wasn't the truth. So some people, they cannot live knowing that I just mislead the guy. Same thing, you go to a store. You're not allowed to tell him, I want to try this suit. Why are you trying it? It's $1,000 suit. You cannot afford it anyway. But you want to see once in your life, how do you look with a $1,000 suit? But in the meantime, you're wasting the guy's time. He's already planning in his heart, oh, I'm going to make a good commission on this sale. You know, the more expectation people develop, the more they suffer after. One good way in life is never to develop any expectation. Don't expect anything from anybody. Don't expect honor, don't expect donation, don't expect respect, don't expect anything. The more you expect, the pain is much greater later. Much greater. Much, much greater. Why? Because if you wouldn't expect, no, let's say you expect $50. Expect $50 that they'll pay you for your job. They didn't pay you, no big deal, so they didn't pay me $50. I'm not going to kill myself. If you expect $50,000 and you got with zero, oh, it's killing you for weeks. You did it to yourself by developing false expectations. Yeah. Hope is always good. Everybody has to always have hope. Hope is a part of emunah. But hope for what? Hope for what? I hope that what? That I'll be a bird, that I'll be able to fly? Hope for what? For positive things. Some people hope that they'll be basketball players in the NBA. It's better that their hopes will never come through. It's good to jump after a piece of leather and scream. To jump like monkeys, it's good. That's the purpose of life. Some people hope they have a fancy car. What? To show off. It's good. It's better that the hope will never go through. People hope to be righteous. Very good. People hope they have enough to eat and to put clothes on their children. It's very good. People hope that their mind can be pure. It's very good. People hope to get married, to have children, to send them to yeshiva. It's very good. Etc., etc. Okay, questions before we finish. Yes. Yeah.
I know somebody who kept a cold-cut store open one time by Rabbi Levin, so I was tired of them who kept it open, but he was probably upset about something when he was in the basement sleeping, and I davened and I did not want to get involved. I just walked past by the store and it was open. I was a chutzpah. Think there was a party inside and they were using it like an open thing. And it's not, see, people like that who get angry lose their temper sometimes. And it's not good to keep the store open. Even if you're kosher and you're frum and you do lose control, you should shut the gate. But if you don't shut it and you go home, You're talking on Shabbos? On Shabbos, yeah. Like Friday before Shabbos. I don't know why he lost his school, but I ate by this person that I kept on.
The Torah says, "V'aitem nekiim." A person has to do everything he can not to create suspicion around him. Which means if somebody thought that he went to a bad place, let's say he had to go to the bathroom, otherwise it would be a disaster. And the first place he saw, it's a non-kosher place. Technically, he's not allowed to go there. But at the second time, what do you expect him to make him his pants? So he had no choice right now. So he went into McDonald's, and somebody saw him coming out with a yarmulke, and he saw a religious guy pass by and looks at him weird. He has to tell him, no, don't think the wrong thing. I just used the bathroom. Why do I care what he thinks? No. One thing leads to another. He goes, he tells another guy, tomorrow you want to go get married? This guy said, I saw this guy in McDonald's a year ago. Don't trust him. One thing leads to another. That's why first of all, it's Chilul Hashem. The most important thing is to prevent the Chilul Hashem. Yes?
I was just going to say, every day we recite Aleinu. At the end it says, Hashem will be one and His name will be one.
Right, that's when Mashiach comes. When Mashiach comes, will be one Hashem, one, everything will be one, no contradictions.
That's the basic definition, like
That's the only definition, not the only one. He said, Bayom Ahu Yeh Hashem Echad, and that days will be one God, one religion, one name, no other name, no J.C. Penney, no Muhammad, Mahmoud, Ahmed, Mustafa, all these things. Now Buddha, Shmuda, all these things will be all disappeared from the face of the earth. You understand? Mashiach won't have to destroy the mosque and the churches because they will do it from the embarrassment to get rid of it. The Muslims, the Christians will bury all their churches and mosques because it will make them look very bad that they had this nonsense all these years. We won't have to do it. They'll do it to themselves. You understand? Because to prevent the embarrassment right away, they try to bury it under the ground. But the question is how long it's going to take. Is it going to take a month, a year, 5 years, 20 years? We don't know. More questions? Yes.
I have a question. This past week,
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Where is Raymond?
Oh, it's not here. I'm on Florida tomorrow.
I know, I see that he's not here.
Myself.
All right, no problem. No, go ahead.
Oh, we have Shabbat Har B'Futai. Remember last week?
Yeah.
Shabbat Har B'Futai.
Yeah.
So we know a slave that's Jewish and he's allowed to marry a non-Jewish slave, right? I mean, non-Jewish girl for his master that had children and he's a slave for his master, right?
No, you got it all wrong. A Jew is not allowed to marry a non-Jewish slave. Every slave automatically become a Jewish. Once you own the slave, automatically you convert him. And the day you purchased him...
No, he is Jewish slave. He just...
Eved Ivri? Okay, no.
He's allowed to marry a non-Jewish slave, right?
I got
So
you.
we know from the Torah, in Kabbalah, it says you're not allowed to marry a Jew to a Goya.
Yeah.
He's a wasted seed,
Right?
and has become a Goy. So
Yeah.
same thing over here. Why did it permit it? Because if you wasted, for no reason, like, whatever, it's a soul, at least, that can be both take over. So, the same thing. Now the souls that go to a Goya, the children, the whole descension is going to be now all Goyim. It's not Jewish anymore. I think it's sick. Why did now they permit it? They said from the Kabbalah, you're not allowed to.
I have to look into it. Okay, any questions about what we spoke? Anything? No? About this topic? Anything? Yeah.
You were speaking about the truth, but isn't like when 100% truth will interfere with shalom? And it says that
Sometimes it's allowed to lie to save the peace, but not all the time. If your wife wants you to be Mechalel Shabbat, and the only way to make peace with her is to become Mechalel Shabbat, you're not allowed to be Mechalel Shabbat, right? So we have to check each case by case. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. If a husband and wife fighting and one of them told you something bad about the other, then if they ask you, you say no, they say good things about you. Why? You don't want to make the war more between them, right? Or sometimes you're allowed to say things to people that they like to hear in order to make them closer to Hashem. You understand? You're making them a favor. You're doing them a favor. Or if they bought a pornographic magazine, you're allowed to take it and burn it or destroy it. And if they ask, did you see it? You're allowed to say, no, I don't know what you're talking about. Why? You did it to save their soul. One day they'll kiss your hands for it. Right now they still don't understand. You understand? So there are things in life that we're allowed to do. And we're allowed to say something different to keep peace. Because if you tell her, you just bought it for $10 and I took it and burned it, next thing is going to be a fist fighting, right? So the Torah already told us sometimes you're allowed to change. Yes?
If a person becomes converted to Judaism, how does he know if he is a Kohen or a Levi?
A convert cannot be Kohen or Levi. No convert can be. Only a convert. He's going to be a Ger Tzedek. Israel, yes. Ger Tzedek. There's even a question if he can say in Birkot HaShachar. It's going to be in a good level, but it's not going to be a Kohen or Levi. Same thing, we cannot be Kohen and Levi if we're not. They cannot be. There's a question, even if the converts can say, when they say the blessing of the morning, Birkot HaShachar, if they can say the blessing, Baruch Ata Hashem Elokeinu Melech HaOlam Shelo Asani Goy. Because it's a lie. Hashem made you a Goy. Right now you're a Jew. It's true that right now you're a Jew, but when you were born you are not Jewish.
So he cannot say that one.
So it's a question if he can say that bracha. Some say he can say it because he's not really talking only about himself. Now he's a part of the nation, so you're really blessing Hashem for make the nation of Israel not goyim. They make them Jews. Okay, thank you very much and good night. Thank you again. Call to.